ऐसे रखो जब सीधा, हाँ ऐसे रखो फेस को। Good evening to one and all present. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Gautham sir. I think our research
evening,
person is
sir.
also. Good evening, sir. Very good evening, sir. Over to you, Meha ma'am. Dr. Meha Sangvi, is she there? Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yes, I'm here.
Ma'am, please add the session for today, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
A warm good evening to all of you. A warm good evening to all of you. I, Dr. Meha Sangvi, Assistant Professor from Talani Institute of Commerce, Adipur, heartily welcome all participants and our keynote speaker, Mr. R. Gowtham, on our second day virtual faculty on fundamentals of research article publications. Today's topic is Introduction to Research Metrics. Don't taking much time as our participants are eagerly waiting to listen our speaker and the new topic on research. So I would like to invite Mr. R. Gowtham for enlightening on today's FDP topic. So I heartily welcome. And once again, I would like to thank our FDP team and TIC family for giving me this good opportunity. Thank you so much, and I heartily welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Once again, I would like to thank Tulani Institute of Commerce for creating this wonderful opportunity. And thank you to Tarun sir as well as Meha ma'am for creating this opportunity as well as your warm introduction.
I oblige, sir.
Yeah. So, good evening, all. So happy to meet you all on the day 2. Today, as pointed out, we are going to go into a little bit of technical topic. Right, the topic is much relevant for you all, whether you are a researcher or you are an academician, whatever it may be. This is a contemporary topic which at least we must be aware of. Right, there are so technical aspects involved in this. I'm not going to take you to all such things. I'm just going to give you a glimpse of what is research metric, what are all the different kinds of research metrics that are available for us. Right? So, without wasting much of the time, I will take you through the topic for discussion today. Right? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can anybody just confirm? Is my screen
Yes,
visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. Yes, sir, it's visible.
Sir, is it moving?
Yes, sir, it's moving. Sir, it's moving.
Yeah, perfect. Fine. Good. So, again, good evening, all. Thank you so much for all the participants who have joined again for this day 2. Yes, as rightly pointed out, today's topic for discussion is research metrics, introduction to research metrics. Right? What is this research metrics is all about? Do you think is it important to have a research metric? Right, that's all many sort of questions which comes into our mind whenever we hear this term research metrics. Right, so research metric is quite so very important one for every researchers and academician, because it is one of the parameters or a scale of your evaluation. Right, it is also a scale of evaluation, not only for us. Right, the research metrics, you don't think it's only applicable for individuals. Right, it's applicable for the applicability of research metrics is across various domains. There are various levels. Of course, we are going to see each and every one, what it is and all about, right? Most of us may not be aware about this term called as a research metric, but we must be aware about various metrics, right? That is always there. Because when I have interacted, if I ask them a question, research metric, they are not able to answer. But if I give them an example, they are very much aware, right? So it's almost a 50-50 thing. I also know people who are really strong in the research metrics. So today's agenda of discussion, as usual, we are going to see it in the three aspects. One, it's going to be introduction to research metric, and in my agenda itself, I have opened the surprise, the suspense for you. Right? Research metrics is basically there are two kinds of research metrics which are there. One is what we call it as a bibliometrics, and another one we call it as alt metrics. Right? So two important aspects which we are going to discuss today. So before we go into in-depth into each of the thing, let us go one by one. Okay. First of all, we need to understand what is research metrics, right? Because the understanding about the purpose of the research metric, what it is all about, is quite so very much important in today's topic of discussion, right? So research metrics are nothing but a quantitative tools, right? It's nothing but the quantitative tools, right? I'm highlighting the word quantitative. What does mean by quantitative? You are trying to put it in numbers, right? You are trying to put it in numbers. In marketing language, I would like to tell you are something trying to make it little more tangible, right? You are trying to make your thing a little more tangible, right? We all know there is no any entrance examination, there is no any kind of assignments, right? There is no any sort of other assessment measures for our research contribution, right? Is there any organization which, as academicians, when we do research, is there any organization conducting test once in a year from whatever in a form of a descriptive questions from your research papers which you are published in a year? No, right? It is out of our own interest and passion we publish our research, right? We publish research papers. So there is no proper evaluation, a formally established evaluation mechanism like how we have for students like an examination. But somehow we should make this quantifiable. We should make this efforts by the academician because they are taking their valuable time in contribution towards research, right? Yesterday, I already pointed out what are all the things they have to take care of academics, they have to participate in the institutional administration, and then they have to take care of their personal life. And still, my heartfelt salute to all the researchers who are there. Despite so much of thing, they are taking their continuous efforts to publish papers, right? They are spending their valuable time in research, right? So to evaluate what sort of contribution they are making, that's where the concept of research metrics comes into the picture. So it's a quantitative tool to assess the quality, very much important. Yes, of course, for a budding researcher, for an young researchers, scholars, in their initial stage, publication is important. But as you go to a different level, right? Like if you are now a PG student or a research scholar, maybe a number of paper is quite so important, right? But once you go to a different grade like an assistant professor, then you gain some sort of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years experience. You cannot still keep yourself confined that I'm publishing so many number of papers, right? So as you go through your different phases of career, not only you should grow, your career should grow, but your research should also be grow, right? So I hope many academicians agree with that, right? Maybe you are experienced now, maybe 15 years experience, 20 years experience, and you compare your research paper now, which you have written now, and compare the paper which you have written in your very early career of stage, maybe when you are entering, right, the teaching arena or the research arena. Definitely, you should find some sort of difference between the articles that you are writing now and articles that you have written earlier. So, which is very much essential. Even I could find in my own papers there is what's the differences with regard to the first paper which I have written and the current paper which I am writing. So, research metrics is basically helps you to assess the quality, right? Again, the question of quality comes a major area of concern, right? Assuming no mechanism is there, right? We all know, right? Quality, what is a good quality one? You will give a different definition. When I ask a person B, he will say what is a good quality according to him. He will give a different opinion. If you ask me what is your opinion, sir, about the quality, I will give you a different opinion. Right? Our quality standards may not be even. So, which means again there is a need which comes into the picture of how to somewhat try to standardize the quality of research output, right? So that's where the research metrics come in. So as I already told you, research metrics is not only required only for the authors or the researchers or the academicians, not only for them. Research metrics are equally available for journals, even for articles, and even at the researcher level. So don't think only research metrics means it's only for authors. Nothing is there for yeah, journals or institutions, right? So this is research metrics. What is the purpose of research metrics? Why do we need the research metric? Do we essentially, what purpose does it serve in this academic and research arena? What sort of contribution that it makes in the current scenario? All right, as I already told you, it is a quantifiable one, objective means of comparing scholarship. Scholarship means don't think the scholarship which institution provides for students or the incentives they provide for faculty member. Here, the scholarship means the level of scholarly people, right? Normally we generally call in a very common sense we call even the research students who are pursuing the research as research scholars, right? Research scholars. But the real meaning of scholar means someone who has really excelled himself in this field of study, right? The person who has really established himself in this field of study. He has made an outstanding contribution in this area of study. We call them a scholar, right? He is a scholarly person, right? We used to use such phrases, right? So that is what they mean here. Scholarship means. So the purpose of research metrics is to make sure there is an objective and quantifiable comparison. We should be able to compare between the output generated by the different research scholars. Then, of course, attracting or grant funding, right? Research metrics are also serving as a tool for attracting the funding or as a tool or as a scale of evaluation for granting the funds. So that's why they say it serves in both the purposes, right? It helps you to attract the fund as well as it helps you to, what to say, scale of evaluation for evaluating the funding proposals, right? Today, that's what I told you. Today, financial resources are available in plenty for researchers, right? Through funding agencies, whether it's a governmental or non-governmental, there are so many funding opportunities that are available. But are we ready to take a right research problem? That's why we discussed yesterday about how to identify a right topic as well as what are all the recent trends. So if you keep up updated with the trend, if your issue is very much current, right, automatically your chances of getting the funds is very high. It's like double tick mark, right? Everything it goes on well, right? So research metrics is also helpful in attracting and granting funds. Then again, measure scholarly impact. What is the impact that that particular author is making in the research arena? Right? What sort of impact that is making? What sort of impact his research contributions are making? Right? All such things are very much important. Then research metrics are also helps you in journal selection. Tomorrow, I think we are going to discuss about how to select a right journal, right? So there also research metrics very plays a very crucial role, because we all know today cloned journals are increasing, predatory journals are increasing. So of course research metrics and one area where these people alter all those figures is in terms of research metrics, right? So we have to be really careful with regard to those journals. So in that case, research metrics will also help you in identifying right kind of journals, right? It helps you in identifying the right kind of journals. Then, of course, it serves as a proof of evidence for your academic work, right? It also serves as a proof of evidence for your academic as well as even the research work, because whatever you learn in your academics, you often try to put it in research practice, because there are only very few I have seen whose specialization in teaching is different from specialization in research, right? It is always advisable to make yourself more manageable and comfortable. Make your research interest a teaching interest, or vice versa, right? If your area of teaching interest is marketing, try to do even research in marketing so that you don't feel the overburden, right? So you don't have to spend much amount of time. It doesn't mean you should not have different, definitely you can have it, no issues. But still, if you feel if you find this work life balance concept little bit difficult, then in that case you can always make your area of teaching as well same as the area of research, so that whatever you teach you can apply it in the research. So in that case that should be very much helpful. So these are all the purpose of research metrics. So what constitutes research metrics, right? That's what the very important question that comes into our mind. What constitutes research metrics, right? Basically, whenever we call research metrics, we classify, basically they are classified broadly into two categories. One is bibliometrics, another one is altmetrics, right? Okay, what is meant by bibliometrics, right? Bibliometrics is nothing but the use of statistical method to analyze book articles and other publications, and mostly frequently used in the field of library and information sciences. Of course, the levels of metrics are applicable for all sort of industry. But if you approach your librarian and information, if you approach librarian, he would be very you will be able to give you more information regarding the bibliometrics which you are going to see. Librarian is, I would say, is one of the source in your university or in your organization, right? Because they play a very crucial role in all these domains, right? Because whatever that is new thing which the publishers are coming up, it will be first intimated to the libraries of concerned universities, right? It won't go, the mail won't go to the vice chancellors or chancellors. Obviously it is going to be the librarian who's going to get the first update. So obviously bibliometrics is nothing but a statistical method, right? We use some sort of underlying methodology to evaluate the impact which the books and articles and other publications are creating in the research arena. Okay, what are all the components of bibliometrics? Right, there are four different levels. Right, there are four different levels of bibliometrics. Right, there are four different types, I could say, of bibliometric. Right, what are those things? First kind of thing is that metrics focusing on individual scholarly contribution. Right, individual author contribution metrics. First one, as an individual, what I am contributing. All right, it is this is the first category. The second category is nothing but metrics focused on venues that produce individual scholar contributions. What is mean by venue? Any idea here? What do they do refer here as venues? You can put it in the chat box. You can just try. What they are trying to mean here by venue? What they are trying to mean here by venue here? Any guesses? Not necessarily always be correct. Yes? Okay. Any answers in the chat? I am looking for it. What do they mean by venues here? Definitely not a place. Yes, anybody aware? So simple. Okay. No, sir. Okay, fine. See, this is nothing but venues. What they are referring here as venues is nothing but their journals, right? Basically, the journals, because they are the ones who produce these scholarly contributions, right? So that's what they mean here as venues. Then metrics focused on author output over time, right? It's as I told you, research is a continuous process. It's not a one-time process. It's a continuous process, which means you have to evaluate the author contributions even over different period of times. So that is the third category of metrics which we are focusing on. The last level of bibliometric is focused on institutional output, right? Institutional level metrics, which is there available. Okay, let us focus on the first category, materials focused on individual scholarly contribution. Very good, right? So let me take you to the first one. First one is what? Times cited. The first metric that I'm going to talk with you is times cited. Right? What does mean by time cited? Time cited simply refers to how many times your articles is cited. Right? How many times your article has been cited. Right, the what is the central premise behind time cycle is that a journal article, what is the purpose or the goal behind this time cited is that is to evaluate whether the journal has made some impact in the society or some impact in the research arena, so that it is referred by somebody else in his or her publication. Right? If your research paper is going to make a very significant contribution in the research arena, definitely what will happen? I will refer your article in my own research paper. Right? I will refer your article in my own research paper. Again, there is a thing which is switched, right? Which I personally feel should be discouraged, right? We as academician, we should always focus on making a real. But what the reason, the sort of a thing which I found was what some people are doing. They are calling their friends, the same people who work along with them in various colleges or something like that, and they are asking them, please cite my paper, please cite my paper, please don't do that, right? Please don't do that, right? Don't worry also that my metrics is so very low, right? Not even a single researcher would have got in the very first click getting so much number of times of citations, right? The research quality won't come in one day. It takes some time and time as it goes. So kindly wait till such that don't engage in such kind of practices. So time cited is the first research metric, an individual scholarly contribution metric which is available for you, right? So who are offering these kinds of what to say these kinds of services, right? Who are offering these kinds of services? One such thing can be our popular databases, right? There are so many databases which are there, which are what we call it as indexing databases, right? What we call it as a indexing databases. So Web of Science, Scopus, right? These are some of the people who offers you some sort of how to say the time cited, right? The number of articles that are being cited to a particular author or particular article, how many times it is cited. They are providing that sort of services to all of them. So of course, there are, we all know these popular indexing databases, right? Which is always there. So just give me a minute. I will take you through one of the metrics. Right, this time cited, how it will appear in Scopus. Okay, for the time being, I'm just now going to stop share my screen and reshare it. Right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to go for a full screen mode. Okay, can you see my Scopus web page? Can you
Yes, sir.
see
Yes,
this
sir.
purpose? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is one best example of an I have taken. I don't know this person, but since whatever that is, this author profile is generated by Scopus, right? This is a whenever you publish a paper in a Scopus Index journal, which is a genuine journal, right? And if your paper is of very good quality, Scopus will index your paper. Scopus will index your paper in the database, right? As a matter of recognition, right? As a matter of recognition, they offer you a free author profile, right? And you could find here citations, right? Number of times cited is only given here, and you could see how the citation trends is moving on, right? A real, this is called as author level metrics, right? This is an author, Swati Mehta, right? I'm taking one such example and I am doing it. See, 2011, she got one citation, 12, same number, 13, then 14, there is a rise in her citation. Number of times. So totally she has 25 citations, right? 25 citations this author is receiving from a total of 24 documents. It doesn't mean she has published 24 papers. The number of papers which she has published is 12, right? Which is shown here, right? 12 documents by author. It means she has published 12 papers. But 12 papers have been cited in 24 documents. That's why your citation is coming to 25. And this diagram shows you a very clear picture about how the citations has grown for her. I told you, right? It's not maybe here, this may be the first time this author's paper would have been indexed in corpus, but she might be very much experienced. We don't know, right? So see here in 2011, she has got one, then two, then for the first 3 years, she has got only one. Then gradually her citations have increased. That's why I say your research quality will gradually improve every year, right? Your research quality will always gradually improve over the year. So in 2014, she has received 2 citations, 16.3, 18.3, then again in 2019, 5, and again there is a small drop down. Again in 2021, 6 citations. Right? You can also click on Citation Overview option, which is available there, which will take you to the different levels of metrics. Right? So here you could see the citation date range. You can click all such things. This is one of the beauties of Scopus, right? This is one of the beauties of Scopus, and you have a different option. See here, you can always, your self citations won't always counted as your citation. Say for example, you are writing a research paper, and in your own paper you are citing your own paper. Will that constitute a citation? Yes, only Google Scholar consider it as citation. Scopus, you cannot, it won't consider it as citation. So what you can do, you can click on this exclude self citations of selected author, right? And click update, right? You can click update, but still I could say there is no much change, right? The same change. And you will also get an author ID. We will talk about those author ID little later, right? So here it will show you document wise what are all the papers that has got cited, right? This paper has not received any citation, but you could see this one, National Innovation System in India, which was written in 2018 has received one citation in 2019, and in 2021 it has got two. So totally three citations. Then titling towards south, pattern and growth determinants of thing, right? You could find the citations coming up here. So you can always sort here also, right? You want to see descending to ascending, highest to lowest means you can click citation count, descending to ascending. Now see it has changed. Highest number citation 43332, right? So this is called as an author level metrics, right? This is called as number of times cited, which is being offered by Scopus, right? So I'll go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Right, so like this, even Web of Science offers you Times Cited and even Google Scholar. I hope most of you are aware about Google Scholars also, right? You can create a profile and you can get the citation count, right? Number of times cited. Maybe if you want, I will also show you one example from Google Scholar, because this is the one which each and every one of us can access, right? I'll take you to Google Scholar, right? I'll take you to Google Scholar, right? I'll take you to Google Scholar. Click on this. So already I have been signed in. So I'm going to make it. Let me type Philip Kotler, right? Let me take it to the Philip Kotler. So I think he doesn't have any profile over here. Okay, let me try out somebody else. Right? We know some person called as Bowen. Yes, see this person, Glenn A. Bowen. Right? I hope see here it shows total citation. You will be really amazed. Right? What is this total citation? 15,744. Right? So on. Yes. Right? And see this article alone. One article in 2009, it alone got cited by 9,086 times. Oh my God. Right? See how vibrant researchers are. Right? Total citations he has received around 15,744 citation. Of course, this will also, I will tell you, I have seen people, sorry, I could not remember the name of the people. I have seen people with 70,000, 90,000 citations, but still I remember this person. Say this person. In 2009, he has written, which has gained around 9,086 citations, then 3,000, so it is in the descending order. Right, say for example, you are, sir, I want to view in terms of year wise 2021 to like that, then you can click on this year. Once you click on this year, it will go like 2020. So you could see the recent articles. That's why I say you, right? It will take some number of years for your articles that get cited. It won't happen in a fraction of few months or few years, unless your article is a very highly quality one, right? So we could see nearly 9,000 citations, really good job, right? So this is what the Google Scholar offers you. So you can always, you can also create your own profile in the Google Scholar. There is no restrictions, and you can automatically get it. You can track your research metric. All this I'm showing just for the number of times cited. There I showed you what is the number, around 15,000 citations, right? Hope this is clear, number of times cited. Okay. Next comes the second aspect, which is called as a journal level metrics, right? Journal level metrics. First one we talk about, which talks about the individual contribution, and there we found something called as time cited. Now we have something called as a journal level metric. These are all the things which is applicable for the journals, right? The journals in which we are publishing, right? This is why the journal level metrics are important. It is for the welfare of the researchers like us, right? For us, some sort of thing. Just like how they assess the quality of our research paper, it is also equally important for us to look out for the quality journal, right? Because the number of your citations purely depends upon, right? Your citations purely depends upon the quality of journals which you are sir, what is the association between quality of a journal and articles, right? If you take top institutions, they don't subscribe to these local journals, right? They There is a completely different world, right? To quality journals, right? Very highly quality journals, right? Then only if you are capable of writing, if you are capable of publishing those paper in those quality journals, your reach will be more, right? Your reach will be very high. So that's why you are the journal level metrics has been developed to the quality of the journal, right? And we all know there are predatory journals which says impact factor 10.3, 15, 70 journal impact factor with 75, 85, right? So, which so after saying which, even those who don't know will fall prey for it. Oh my God, impact factor is 75, impact factor is 20, 25, 30. Oh my God, I'm going to publish in that wonderful journal, right? Not necessarily always, not necessarily always, right? So these are all the journal level metrics. What are all the journal level metrics which I have, right? There are so many important metrics for journals, for evaluating the journals. What are those things? Most popular one, which we all know, impact factor, right? Impact factor, very much important. Then immediacy index. There is something called as an immediacy index, which is also there for the journals. Then we have something called as cited half-life index, right? Cited half-life index. Then we have something called as an eigen factor, right? Eigen factor. Then we have article influence score, right? We have a metric called as an article influence score. Then we all know Schemago journal rankings, right? Schemago journal rankings. Then we all know source normalized impact factor, quite so popular in terms of Scopus, right? In Scopus, you find this SNIP value, right? And we have something called as H5 index and H5 median, right? H5 index and H5 median. So let us go to each and every aspect. Yes, impact factor, right? The impact factor, this is where the confusion is still is existing. Somebody call SJIF impact factor, somebody call it as ISI impact factor, somebody gives something else, right? What is the real impact factor? It's a very big question, and my answer to that question is, in terms of impact factor, JCRs are very much relevant, right? JCRs, they provide you a very good quality impact factor. What is this JCR, sir? Right? JCR is nothing but Journal Citations Report. It's a product which is offered by the Web of Science. It's a product which is offered by the Web of Science, and unfortunately, it's a subscribed one. You need to have a subscribed asset, just like Scopus. You cannot have a free account for JCR. You need to have a very subscribed access for it for the JCR. So JCR impact factor is what I'm going to talk about here. Is a ratio, right? Its impact factor is basically a ratio. What is the ratio? Ratio between average number of citations generated by each citable item within a journal calculated over a period of time. So it talks about impact factor depends upon number of citations which your article generates, right? Which your article generates. That article should be published in that particular journal, right? Say for assume an example, journal A, right? And if you are going to publish a paper in the journal A, that paper, how many citations it is generating, right? Citation is not always refers to only you, right? When we write about what, when we talk about, when we write the citations, hope you all remember, we will write the last name first, then paper title, even journal names comes, right? So that's what the impact factor is all about. So impact factor, it's not like a day deal. It's a time long process. It's a time long process to begin to populate. That's why it has become quite so popular among academic community. Basically, the normal period for calculating impact factor is 3 years from the date of publications. And of course, you could find 5-year impact factor, 10-year impact factor, all such things. These are nothing but an extended versions of the impact factor, right? So how do we calculate the journal's impact factor? How do we calculate the journal impact factor? Here I'm going to give you with a very simple example, very small layman example to understand how this journal impact factor works. Assume there is we are going to assume there is something journal called as Journal of Bibliometrics, right? Journal of Bibliometrics. And what it has been done in the last 2 years, right? In the last 2 years, maybe 2018 and 19, this journal has generated 2000. There is a small error here. Just a second, I'll change it. It's 2000, right? It has generated 2000 citable items, right? Which means through the last 2 years, this journal has given 2000 citable items, right? 2000 citable articles which are there. What is mean by citable items? Citable items are nothing but which is defined by the web of knowledge and includes all scholarly articles, right? It has published items means nothing but they are referring to the articles which are published in the journal. So in the last 2 years, they have published 2000 citable items. Now, when we do a comprehensive analysis, we found these 2000 citable items created 4,000 citations, right? Right, 4,000 citations, right? 4,000 citations over in this current year, right? Again, there is a typing error. Right, 2000 citations. It has generated 4,000 citations totally as of now. As of now, we have received 4,000 citations in this journal. So how do we calculate the impact factor? It's nothing but B divided by A. What is B divided by A? B divided by A is nothing but what is the total number of citations which this journal has received? 4,000, right? The total citation which has been received in this current year is 4,000 divided by total number of articles or citable items published in the last 2 years, in between 18 and 19. So we have received 4,000 citations and total number of articles which has been published in the journal in the last 2 years is 2,000. So your impact factor for this year is 2.0. 2.0. This is a impact factor, which means every article in this journal is generating at least 2 citations for this paper, for this journal. Is that clear? Any doubts here you have on this journal citation? Right? Any doubts in this? You can put it in the chat about the impact factor. Yes? Any doubts on this? Total number of citations? Yeah, clear. Perfect. Thank you, Sweta madam. Thank you. Yeah, so this is called as an impact factor. What is 5-year impact factor mean? Same thing. Here we are taking for 2 years and the current year, so including 3 years. Same thing if you take it for 5 years or 10 years, it is called as an 5-year impact factor. Okay, so let me take you, let us go to some journal website, right? Some journal website, we will try to evaluate the impact factor, right? Give me 1 minute. Let me check in Scopus first. Okay. So Scopus don't have this impact factor. They are giving it a different name, but not an issue. All right. Let me look out for Web of Science. Web of Science journal. So I'm going to search for this. Okay. So it is asking me to log in. I'm going to log in. Right. I'm going to log in. Right. I'll change it. Okay, so I'm going to log in and let me check out for any sort of information, right? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so we could I think yes, it's even in Web of Science they have made it as they are making it subscription one, so they are not showing it the impact factor, but no issues, right? But no issues. So this is how basically how we compute the impact factor, right? Because I can show you some fake impact factors, but since I don't want to show you people a wrong impact factor which is calculated in a wrong manner, so I'm not going through that. Next kind of index which we have is an immediacy index, right? Immediacy index is an index which has been developed by Thomas Reuters, right? Thomas Reuters is also one of the popular in the publication arena. Thomas Reuters publication, just like how we have Clarivate Analytics, which is there for Scopus, which is there for Web of Science. Likewise, we have the Thomas Reuters, one of the well-known, reputed publisher. So, what is this immediacy index? Immediacy index is nothing but, right? It was developed by the Thomas Reuters, and it was also a part of the JCR, right? If you have access to JCR, if you have a subscribed access, it is well and good. You can see all these informations over there. So what is the difference between a JCR, the difference between an impact factor and the immediacy index, right? What is the difference, right? In what ways our impact factor is different from an immediacy index? See, immediacy index, it always focuses only on the citation patterns. What is mean by citation pattern? If you take general citation, whatever article that is being taken into the consideration, it will be taken as a citation. But here, immediacy index focuses on analyze what kind of articles are cited most, right? Whether the COVID pandemic articles that is called as analyzing the citation pattern and publication for a single calendar year. It's immediacy index. It's for one particular calendar year, and where we know that impact factor is basically for 3 years and 5 factors, and it takes into until it tries to balance the articles generated rather than single year. It takes into account for 3 or 5 years. So what does it mean? What does it is all about? If you find a journal which is having an immediacy index, right? If you can access JCR, it is well and good. If you find an immediacy index of 0.5, if you find any journal which immediacy index is 0.5, right? It means the journal generates on an average of 0.50 citation within a year it is publishing. What does it mean? That's going to be your next question. What does the 0.7? How the citations can be half a cell? It's not like that. What does it mean here? Means, say for example, in this year, if I'm going to publish in my journal, I'm publishing 30, right? If I'm publishing 30 papers, right? It means at least if my immediacy index is 0.5, if my immediacy index is going to be 0.5 or 0.25 or 0.13, whatever it may be, what will happen? I am going to it will generate around maybe 7 or 8 citations per year in this year itself. In this year itself, this journal is capable of generating, assuming we are publishing 15 papers, means you are going to generate 15 citation in this current calendar year itself. So that is called as an immediacy index. So next one is cited half-life. Cited half-life is also part of a metric which is provided by JCR, which is refers to the median age of the item cited in the current year. Right? So what does it mean, sir? What does this sound so technical? What does it mean? It is all about, right? So what does the cited life of 10 years means? Half of the citations, right, of this journal is received from the articles published in the last 10 years. Say, for example, today you are finding a journal and the citation shows, right, and if your cited life index shows, right, some value, it shows that half of the citations, right, half of the citations is from the last 10 years, right? It's from the last 10 years. Total citation, say for example, 13,000 citation, and if your cited half-life is 200, say for example, I'm talking about cited half-life is 200, means 200 citations is coming from the papers which has been published in the last 10 years, maybe from 2011 to 21. So that is called as a cited half-life. What is the cited half-life? What does it indicate? Right? It talks about the longevity of the impact that that particular article is having. Right? Some articles will prove maybe relevance, maybe on that particular time, not for over a period of 5 years or 10 years. Right? It will be there only for maybe for 3 years. The topic may be vibrant. After that, it would have taken a back door. Right? All such things. So, cited half-life measures the longevity of the lifetime of the article, right? How long that article can make an impact in the academic research arena. There are articles we all know still today we refer, right? We cannot avoid such articles, right? It would have been there in 1990, but that was the base. Still people cite here, right? So the longevity of the articles and its correlation with the journal is measured by cited half-life. Then, right, we have another few more interesting factors, which is a journal level metric, what we call it as an Egan factor and article impact factor. Right, Egan factor and article impact factor. Again, it is an interesting metric which has been developed by Thomas Reuters, JCR. Now it's Clarivate Analytics, but it was developed independently by the researchers. Right, it was it's not it was developed by a few researchers at the University of Washington. Right, from Washington University, with co-founders like Jevin West and Carl Breckstrom. They developed this Egan factor and article impact factor. What is this Egan factor metric? Right, it is an estimate of percentage of time that the library users spend with that journal. How long or how much time they are spending with the particular journal. That is what is called as an Egan factor metric, which researchers behind the project equate the journal's importance within the network of academic citations, right? Between the network of academic citations. So there is an equation, percentage of time which the library spends for the particular journal, how long they are having the journals, right? it talks about, it's all about subscriptions, right? How long that particular journal is there with the library, and what is the how important is the journal with regard to the academic citations, right? That is called as an eigenfactor metric, right? Then what is an article influence score? Article influence score, just like an eigenfactor, how it measures the journal level aspect, article influence metric measures the special perspective of journal impact by providing journal's average influence per article over the 5 years, right? What is the journal's influence, right? Sometimes what will happen? Journal will act as a promotion for your article. Whatever, there are few journals, right? I can show you cancer. Whenever you see the, whenever you take the scopus, no, the first comes CA, cancer journal for or clinicians, right? That what comes in the first one. So if you publish in such kind of journals, what will happen automatically, right? The journal is a marketing for you, right? Your paper is not marketing you, the journal is marketing you. So that is what is measured through this article influence score, right? What is the journal's influence on the article in the citation aspect for the period of 5 years? So that is called as an article impact factor. Then comes our most popular one, Schemago, right? Most of you must be aware about this Schemago journal rankings. They do beautiful ranking about the journal level impact, right? Of course, though these Schemago rankings is provided by a group outside the Scopus, but Scopus considers these journal rankings are also very much important. Journal classifies them as Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 based on the bibliometrics developed by Schemago. Alright, so let me take you to Schemago. Right, just a minute. I'll stop sharing and I'll take you to Schemago. Right, which most of you must be aware. Yes. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to Schemago. Yes. Right. If you go to Schemago, you can always evaluate the journals. Right. Say for example, what journals I can type. I'm going to type this journal because this was the one which comes up first. So I'm going to click copy. I'm going to paste this journal title here and press enter. Right. So as soon as you enter the journal name, what it comes, it shows the journal name, right? CA Cancer Journal for Clinicians. So I'm going to click on that. And once you click on that, you get all information about the journal. This journal is from which country? United States. What are all the subject area they cover? Medicine, hematology, oncology. Who is the publisher? Billy Blackwell. See the H index of this journal, 168. Oh my God. Right, and you have the ISSN number and the coverage period for each of this journal. Right, so like this you can get for our own domain papers also. Say for example, I'm going to type one of the most popular journal, Indian Journal of Marketing, right? Indian Journal of Marketing, right? It's from India, it's from Associated Management Consultants Private Limited, and you could see the details. It's from India. Subject area is business management accounting as well as marketing. H index is 10, quite appreciable. And you will have the, here you will find the home page and how to publish. If you click, it will take you to the journal web page, right? Which is the real journal. See, now they have already closed the subscription, right? They have already closed the call for authorship. So you can always get that. And in the top, you have something called as journal rankings, right? Click on this journal rankings and the sword will come up, click close. See, now this is the way how the ranking has been done. See, Q1, right? There are 4 categories, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So the ranking is based on that. Say for example, sir, I want to know about what journal is ranking in my study, right? We are all commerce, right? So basically we come under business management and accounting. So you can click on this option. Instead of clicking all subject area, you can click on business management and accounting, right? And in the subject category also, you can click all subject categories under let it be as it is. Regions, you can choose all region, let it be all the regions, and year, this is the latest year which they are having. So now you could see our category in India, sorry, in commerce management domain, the ranking is given. See this journal, Academy, total documents. See all the details about this journal is coming. Its index is 73, total documents in 2020 is 31, and total documents for the 3 years is 76. Total references in the journal 7077, total citations. Then citable documents 75, citable documents per 2 years 16.43. So all the values are given, and you could find the country from which this journal is coming up. So this is from United States. Say for example, sir, I don't want United States data and all, sir, I want Indian journals. Then what you can do, you can click on this region/countries and go back to India, right? And let me click India. So I'm going to click India. So once I click India, see here we get the Indian journals as per the ranking. What are all the Indian journals in the management domain? And you could find only, we have only very few journals which are there in India. In Q1 only, in management only we have 2. Global Journal of Flexible Systems Management we have in Q1, Journal of Entrepreneurship we have in Q1. All other things we have, only in Q2, right? OB search, right? So you can always search for it. We can also have a good number of its index, right? 31, 18, 25, 5, right? You can always use Schemago to identify, to know more about the journal aspect. So we have 30 articles, right? We have 30. So these are all the journals which have been discontinued. That's why the rating is not given. See, till here you could find Q4, but here you could not find anything because these journals are already discontinued, right, from the Scopus databases. So this is how you can use Schemago journal rankings to evaluate the journals, right? To evaluate the journals. So let me stop the sharing, right? Let me stop sharing and reshare the PowerPoint. So this is Schemago journal rankings. Then we have the next one, which is source normalized impact per paper, SNIP value, right? Very important aspect which we have, right? It's a metric which is calculated by Center for Science and Technology Studies at Indian University. And SNIP is basically based on a raw impact per paper, which you can also compare with regard to the impact factor and SJR. Yes, why it is unique? Why sir SNIP values very much? Because it changes according to the sizes and citation rates, right? You could not find the SNIP value for journal same every year. Every year it keeps on changing, right? So people feel it's a fair comparison metric, right? Scopus will have this SNIP values. Sometimes you could find SJR's numbers will be high, SNIP metrics are lower, and vice versa, right? So SNIP is a very good, reliable journal metric to evaluate. So let me show you the SNIP value for the journal. How to find the SNIP value. I hope most of you would be aware. uh, 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 I'll take you through that. Right, you could find, I take, see here, SJR, SNIP value, see the SNIP value, right? Source normalized impact factor for this journal. This is the top number one, world number one journal. SNIP value 143.645. Very good. That's what they were telling, right? The line which says sometimes you could find SJR value is low, SNIP value be higher, and vice versa also. SNIP is less, SJR will be more. Both are possible. And if you like to know more about this SNIP, how they are computed, you can click on the site. Right? Source normalized value measures actual citation related to citation expected for relative serial field. So you can always go about that. Similarly, SJR. SJR is Schemago journal ranking measures. Schemago journal ranking value 62.937. I told you Schemago is an outside source, right? It's an outside source which is there, right? Site scores, I'll come back to the later tomorrow session. We will see few metrics, and this is called as a SNIP. So every journal you will have an SNIP value. Say for example, I take the Indian Journal of Marketing. It will also have a SNIP value. Indian Journal of Marketing. Indian Journal of Marketing. Right? If you click on that, you will find even the SNIP value. See, the SNIP value is 0.534. SJR is 0.23. So inverse relationship. Alright. So you can always go for that. So that is SNIP value. The next kind of a thing which we are going to see. Okay, is it all? See, yeah. H5 index and H median. Right, H5 index is basically, you cannot find much now, but still somewhere, someone then and there you could see this H5 index. It's basically determines how many articles have been cited in the last 5 years. That is called as H5 index, right? And consequently, an H5 index matrix of 200 means what to say, for example, if your H5 index matrix has 200, what does it mean? It means the journal has published 200 articles in the last 5 years that has been at least cited 200 times, right? H5 index, right, of 200 means in the last 5 years it has published 200 papers which has been cited 200 times each, right? Each paper has been at least cited 200 times, right? So that is H index. H median, right, it takes the journal article included in the H5 index and returns the median numbers. So it takes an H median is nothing but an average, right? H median is nothing but the average number of citations. So all these are journal level metrics. So we are still in bibliometric. We saw individual scholars, then we saw something about what? The journal level. Then next comes the author level metrics, right? Author level metrics is most popular one, H index, right? H index, it was an index which is developed by George E. Hirsch in 2005, and it has become a quite so popular way of evaluating the author's contribution. Right? How it is calculated? It's a number of articles an author has published today, right, as a threshold count to the number of total number of articles which he has published. Say, for example, if a theoretical physicist or any researchers has published 100 articles over of time, and if 30 papers of those has been cited 30 plus times, then we say his H index is 30. If you are getting H index as 2 means at least 2 articles of you has been cited 2 and more times, right? If your H index is 2 means out of your publication you have 2 articles, right? You have 2 articles with you which has been cited at least 2 times or plus. Hope I am clear, right? If your H index is 20, it means you have at least 20 articles which has been cited at least 20 times. Then only your H index will be 20. Similarly, 30 means you have 30 papers which has been at least cited 13 times, right? That is what we call it as an H index. And H index also you can get it in Scopus, right? Is my Scopus screen visible? Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll take you to Scopus, right? See, I'm going to take you to an author. Let me take here. I'll take you to an example. Sharma P, right? Okay, right? So, what is this author's H index? See, his H index is 24, which means this author has a paper at least which has been cited 24 articles which has been cited at least 24 times, right? So look at the total citations he has received. The total citation which this author has received is 2197 times, but H index is 24, which means 24 articles of this author has at least 24 citations. So you can click on this view H graph, right? It will give you view H graph. You can see, right? You can see, right? See here, right? You could find this thing coming up. See here, 24 articles, right? 24, and the graph shows how long, 1632, and the graph shows like this, right? You can get all these metrics here, right? Document thing, all systems, co-author's name, all systems. So the graph will show you the H index aspect. So this is called as an H index. Then, which is another quite so popular, is an I-10 index. What is an I-10 index? I-10 index is something where your one article receives more than 10 citations, which is this is considered as a very premier metric, right? This is considered to be a very premier metric. One article generating you how much? One article alone is going to generate you 10. Then your I index will be 1. What does it mean? One article getting 10 times cited. Right? I'll take you through the Bowen. We'll see the Bowen. Right? Okay. Go to Google Scholar. Usually I-10 index is provided by the Google Scholar. Right? I'll take you to Google Scholar. I'll go here and I'll type Bowen. Okay, take this one. See, his I-10 index is 90, right? His I-10 index is 19, which means 19 of his articles has received more than 10 citations. Say, for example, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So totally 19 articles of this person has received more than 10 times citation starting from here, right? This is more than 10 because this guy has got 11 citations. So 1, 2, 3. So that's how it is computed. So totally I-10 index is 19, right? Totally I-10 index is 19, right? H index of 18 means what? H index of 18 means 18 articles cited at least 18 times. And you can find easily. This article is not covering 18, right? This is just only 11. Right? But all other article, it is 18 plus. 23, 24, 29, 40. So it is 18 plus. That's why this H index is 18. 18 articles cited either 18 times or more. Right? So that's why H index is 18. But why you can ask I index is 19 means because here one more article. This article does not satisfy the H index criteria. Why? H index is 18. Right? This is only receiving only 11. So that's why this article is not included here. Otherwise, what would happen if that is also crossing 18 or above? It would be 1990. Right? So this is I-10 index. Then institution level metrics, we have something called as essential science indicators, which is also be provided by the Web of Science. And of course, this is ranking, which is being developed for the Web of Science group. And again, this is subscription based one. If you have a subscription access, it talks about the institution level indicators, right? Institution wise, what is the citation count, average time they are taking, what is the time period to create the ranking, benchmarks, all such things will be applicable to. Then we also have something called the Schemago institutional ranking. Let us go to Schemago institutional rankings. Let us check it out whether this is available. We have country rankings. See here, you have Schemago institutions ranking. Can you find it here on the top? Schemago institution ranking. So you can click on Schemago institution ranking. It will take you to a website, right? You can click on this overall ranking, right? You can click on this overall ranking, and this will give you institution-wise ranking, right? Subject area, let me click on business management, right? Business management. Still, you could find Chinese Academy of Sciences coming first, right? All sectors, okay, it be as it is. Let us take India, right? Which institution is ranking 1 in India, right? I'm going to click on India. See, IIT Kharagpur, right? Ranking top in India as per Schemago's ranking. First 3 places, IIT. Oh my God, good to see VIT coming in 5. Amity University 6. Bharat Institute of Higher Education, right? And Research 7, right? Very good ranking, right? In India. So institution level rankings you can find even from Tamil Nadu, Annamalai University is there, right? We are getting a good number of citations, right? So this is called as Schemago's institutional rank. So if you want to take all such things, you can always do that. This is Schemago's institutional rank. So what are the bibliometric tools? Bibliometric tools, you can always get it from the indexing databases. Top 3 indexing databases, right? You can take it from Clarivate Analytics, JCR, Schemago, and Google Scholar, and also even sometimes Scopus. Yes, oh my God, finally we concluded with bibliometrics. So I hope you would have got a very comprehensive understanding about bibliometrics. Now let us talk about altmetrics, right? Altmetrics are qualitative data, right? As the name suggests, alt means alternative, right? So it talks about other non-fuzzy measures, non-technical measures for your journal rankings. So again, just like how we have the 4 categories in bibliometrics, the same kind of thing we have in the altmetrics. So individual scholarly contribution, what you can call it as a scholarly contribution. Clicks, how many clicks your article have got, how many views it has got, how many downloads it has got, how many sales or holdings it has asked, how many times your articles has been bookmarked, right? How many times it has been referred by your folks, how many times your article has been labeled as favorite, right? How many times your articles have been saved in the references, saved as references for future references. Is there any comments for your article? Very well comments. Somebody has mentioned your article in the social media, in a blog post. Somebody has reviewed your article. All such things will come under. How many times, how many likes your article has got, how many times it has been shared with the social media with others, how many times it has been tweeted. All these are the altmetrics, right? So one example which I would like to give you here is ResearchGate, right? ResearchGate. You all know about ResearchGate, right? Let me go to the ResearchGate and click login, right? So I'm just going to give my password. Okay, so now you can see, I click on this profile. See, these are called as alt metrics. See, scores, right? See, these are called as alt metrics, right? My RG score is 4.04. Your score is higher than 22.5%. H index 1. X index excluding self citation is also 1. How many followers I have, how many questions I have been answered, how many publications are there. You can click on this view your stats. Right, see here you get more alt metrics. What is the research interest? 7.6, which is really good. And how many reads I have got, how many reads I have got for my article, right? 19,970, sorry, 1,974 reads I have got. Sorry, I have not updated this ResearchGate for a longer period, otherwise it would have increased. And there are 15 recommendations for me, right? There are 15 recommendations, and I have totally 4 citations as per the ResearchGate, right? Because I have not yet updated many aspects here, right? And these are called as alt metrics, right? Full text reads how much, right? Then we read so much, citations so much, recommendations, graphs, all such things, how many followers I am having, all right? All such things constitute the uh, aspects. These are called as an alt metrics, which you can also show as your research thing, right? So likewise, there are number of ways. If you take LinkedIn and all, there will be number of articles which has been shared. All those things, we call it as all those informal things, is also taken into consideration, which we call it as alt metrics. Then with regard to journal level metrics, all these are purely subscription based. If your institution can access these sites, it will be really useful. Just like how I showed you the different classifications, plus Public Library of Science, village journals, and many other, they are offering journal level metrics for alt metrics, like how many times these journals have been, same mechanism, right? How many times they have been bookmarked, how many times they have been saved, apart from the formal, normal bibliometric aspect, any other thing, that is a journal level. Author level metrics, see here we have so many. This is what I showed you, ResearchGate, ORCID ID. ORCID will show you a good number of things. Maybe in future we will plan a session on how to create profiles and all this. See here metrics are given, Plumex metrics, total number of citations, how many people have used your article, how many people have liked it, how many people have mentioned it, how many people have saved it in a folder and for their future use. Then your Scopus, author ID, all such things are author level metrics. Institutional metrics, just like how we have a Schemago institutional ranking, Plumex and alt metrics also provide institutional metrics also, but I cannot show you live because all these are very subscribed. It's purely based on subscription, costly one, but institutions and universities, I hope they can subscribe to this and make available for the scholars. So with this, I'll take a leave. I hope I have done justice for this session. I hope I have exposed you to something new, and I have made certain concepts clear. If you have any doubt, you can always, I am open for questions. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, you can always approach me. You can text me in this number first, or you can always email me about this, the research metrics. Thank you so much. Over to the organizers.
Thank you, sir. Now there's a questions session. Anybody who wish to ask question related to today's topic, you're welcome. Everyone, participants, please. Anybody from the participants those who wish to ask question.
Thank you so much for your compliments and getting excellent presentation, nice and informative session. Thank you so much.
Sir,
Hope that is some.
the chat box itself says that it's very, very informative session, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, participants, anybody who wish to ask question related to today's topic? Nobody? So we'll conclude this session today. Over to you, Dr. Meha ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Can I do a vote of thanks, sir?
Yes, over to you, ma'am. Please conclude vote of thanks. sir.
Okay. Once again, I obliged and thankful to Mr. R. Gowtham for giving us various metrics about citations, about how to calculate impact factors, article impact factors, SCI Mago general ranking, Scopus, H index, H meditations, and very different topics, which is very useful in our research area. If you wish to go beyond in your research area, you wish that kind of things you keep certain in your mind while you are doing the research area. So once again, thank you so much for giving us fabulous knowledge about these things. And once again, I thankful for the participants for giving your valuable time. And really, I thank you, the principal madam, all faculty members of TIC, and once again, the technical supporter for their valuable suggestions and time as well. Once again, thank you for all. Thank you for being all present and support and made this second day virtual FDB successful. And this is very fruitful and very informative sessions which will be helpful us in our research area. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I hope there is some sort of learning which has happened through the session. Thank you so much, Meha ma'am and Tarun sir, for coordinating. And once again, my thanks to Tulani Institute of Commerce for creating this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Meha ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.